Hey, Think Realty Nation, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today. It's my privilege to host you. I'm Eddie Wilson, the founder of Think Realty, and we've got a great guest that I'm going to bring up in just a second. But before I get to the guest, I want to let you know that we are coming to the West Coast. We're coming to Phoenix, Arizona, March 28th and 29th for the Think Realty Conference and Expo. If you haven't made plans already, make plans to be there. And if you go to thinkrealty.com/Phoenix, you can put in the code podcast and it'll give you a buy one, get one free on the tickets there. A quick thank you to our podcast sponsor, which is Real Property Management. Real Property Management will put more money in your pocket than take it out, as all good property managers will do. Sometimes you think about the fee that they charge to manage your property, but a good one will always make you more money and allow you to go out and leverage your portfolio and get more rental properties, not deal with all the tenants and toilets. So go to realpropertymgt.com, realpropertymgt.com to find out more about them, and thank you so much to them for sponsoring the podcast. Our guest today is not only a real estate, can I say mogul? Mogul seems a little strong, but I think it's pretty accurate.
I'm working on it.
Okay, working on mogul. But Adonis Lockett, he's a good friend of mine, and also doing some really great things in the real estate space, very innovative. And super happy to have you on the show today. And let's just kind of jump in, right? So the funny thing that I always tell people about you is, like, you hear some people say this phrase, like, well, it's not rocket science, right?
Right.
You know where I'm headed, right?
I know exactly.
And what was your original early career?
Right when I left corporate to get into real estate full time, I was a rocket propulsion test engineer for
so basically he was a rocket scientist.
Right.
Yeah. So when you say it's not rocket science, he's actually a rocket scientist. So
Right.
Therefore everything should be easy past that point, right?
And the funny thing is that that actually is to my detriment, because I would come in and say, guys, it's real estate, it's loans, it's wholesaling, and they'd be like, it's not that simple. And it took me years to understand. It's like, hey man, you come from a different background, so you got to give it a little leeway. So that's always a funny thing.
So over the past few years, I've watched you really grow and scale your business, both on the real estate, the physical asset side, but also the capital side, right? Like, I've watched you grow both, kind of sides of the business. But I think even more recently, you've been doing a lot more give back and trying to help people kind of like come down that same path with you through a product you call My RE360.
Correct.
And so if you don't mind, kind of like help our viewers and listeners understand what My RE360 is and how they could potentially leverage that so that they can kind of take the same pathway that you've taken.
Sure. So the backstory, I quit corporate, opened an office in Dallas, killed it for 3-4 years, opened an office in LA. In that 3 or 4 years, I ended up flipping 40 houses, something like that. Go to LA, come back to Dallas. I'm 4 years in the business, 40 houses flipped. Call my contractor, he's in politics. Call my title company, they're no longer in the business. And I found myself 4 years in, 40 houses flipped, shopping around for, hey, I need a contractor, I need this, I need that. And I was like, why isn't there a central place where I can get online and find real estate investor-friendly vendors, right?
Sure.
On top of that, when I'm now trying to get back into the groove of buying houses, I have no idea who the wholesalers are. Mm-hmm. So I'm on Craigslist, I'm on Google, and it was crazy, because you can literally get online and learn everything and do everything except real estate. Real estate is one of the few industries where you have to spend weeks or months beating the streets to figure out who's who, call 1 million people. Then on top of that, you get the information of how you learn the business comes from all these different sources, and you don't know what's valid, you don't know what's not. I wanted to create a place where everything was centralized, verified, and validated. And so why I built 360 was because my personal pain of continuously finding vendors, finding deals, and then once I got into the lending business, hearing people not understand the business. They're paying $50,000 to come for their first loan. They don't understand what ARV is. They don't understand what LTV is. And it just didn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. I built 360 to break down all these walls and ultimately give people 3 things. 1, the opportunity to get in real estate investing without bankrupting your life savings. Mm-hmm. That was the number one thing. When they paid $50,000, they didn't even have enough for down payment, which completely voided the point of them even paying for the service. 2, they would spend weeks or months trying to figure out who has deals. Mm-hmm. By the time they got into the groove, they lost steam. And then number 3, they get into their first deal, one bad contractor takes them out the business completely.
Right.
I wanted to create a platform where you walked in, you learn in the business from local experts, from national experts. You can connect with the vendors. The same vendors that got me my 120 deals are the same vendors that our users have direct access to. When you log on, the same wholesalers that I'm buying these phenomenal deals, you have access to. You don't have to bankrupt your life savings, and you don't have to spend weeks or months beating the streets just to get into the business. And that's what I wanted to create for the industry, and that's how I wanted to give back.
Yeah. Now tell me where that is today, because I know it's been a long journey. You've been building this out, and I know you've very much regionalized it. Like you have a bunch of regional support. So kind of tell us where that's at and how they can interact with it today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing about 360 when I first built it was that someone coming out of Southern California, out of Los Angeles, can't come to Fort Worth, Texas, telling you how to wholesale a $30,000 deal.
Right.
It's just completely different economics, the mentality, the whole nine. So 360 is actually built out by markets. So wherever you are in your city or that particular area is considered your market. So we've actually built 360 to be specific to the wholesalers, the vendors, the education. It's specific to the markets. Right now we're in 30 markets, and the goal is to be in every major, medium, and small market in the country nationwide, connecting every educator, every vendor, every wholesaler, every buyer to a central platform. And it's funny because you hear everyone say real estate, your network is your net worth, but there's not one platform that connects the entire network, which is kind of counterintuitive. So now what 360's motto is now our network is your net worth. So our network is your network ex facto. Every connection that we have in the space, you as an individual user, you have. So when you log on to 360, you now have access to every educator, every vendor, every wholesaler, regardless of what market you're in. That's what we built.
That's awesome. And it's a great platform. Not only do you have access, but you actually can see the deals. You can actually, it's not just, hey, here's a listing of all the people. Now go call them and contact them, right?
Correct.
You can actually connect with them on the platform. You can see the deals on the platform. Like it's a very
interactive
and intensive. Yeah.
So one thing I did not want to create was just here's a list of lenders, title companies. Here's a list of wholesalers. They're individual vendors broken down by category. The wholesale deals that are on the platform are from local wholesalers posting specific deals on the platform. So you're direct to that wholesaler. We don't take a fee on it. We don't middleman dialogue or conversations. You are direct to every single person on the platform. So we have truly connected the industry in this platform, no matter where you are in the country. If they're on the 360 platform and you're on it, you can potentially connect with them at the push of a button.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to me because I grew up in the real estate space, right? Like I'm third generation real estate investor. And what you find is real estate investors are typically only successful based on that network of people that are around them. And if they had a successful group of people around them, then they typically can be successful.
Exactly right.
I had the benefit of watching a grandfather and a father do it, so I really didn't have to work hard to go find deals. I didn't have to work hard to go find contractors, right? Like I just kind of fell into it, you know?
Right.
But that's not the case for everyone that is getting into this space. Like most people, especially if you're a Think Realty viewer or listener, and you're just thinking about getting in, the one thing that you don't quite understand yet is how important what he just said is to your success, right? Like when he said our network is your net worth or network, that is what you need to be successful in real estate. Like you really don't need anything other than that, right?
Correct.
You need some education. You need to know what deals are good and bad, which you provide that on the platform as well, right? The educational side.
Right.
But for the most part, if you get the fundamentals down, right? What it is a relationship game, right? Like you have to have the vendors, you have to have people with money, lenders, so you're not coming out of pocket, like you said, with all your life savings to do the deals.
Right.
All of that type of stuff. So I would highly, highly encourage you guys to go to it. I know Adonis has been working on this for years and has built it in an amazing way. I actually sat in Jacksonville, Florida, 4 or 5 months ago, and you started showing me everything in depth, and it was really amazed at how far and how much this platform has progressed and can really help real estate investors.
I genuinely believe 360 is the next industry disruptor.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm working with a lean operation, and every user is being onboarded one at a time with interviews like this. But I genuinely believe that you're going to wake up one day and 360 will be that platform where you're like, hey, I want to get into real estate. log on to 360,
Yep.
and in 5 days, you're in the business.
Right.
And without the months of beating the streets, without bankrupting your life savings, I genuinely believe we are on the tipping point of becoming the next industry disruptor.
It's awesome. Love it. I can definitely see it. I mean, because it's such a massive need. When innovation meets need is where those things happen, and you're right there at the brink
Right
of it.
there.
That's
All
awesome.
we need is just just a little bit more in our foundation and the proper push,
Yeah.
and we're on our way. Genuinely believe it.
So tell me about a few of the other initiatives that you have. I know that you also have this kind of blueprint that you put out there to try to help people find capital,
Yep.
leverage capital. Tell me about that.
The Smart Money Blueprint. Essentially, the Smart Money Blueprint is exactly that: how to make money selling money. You hear people often say that the easiest way to get into real estate investing is wholesaling. That's actually not true. It's just the lowest barrier of entry. The easiest way to get into real estate investing is by selling money. Once you understand the money, you understand the business. And if you look at any investor, the way they go about buying their deals, especially those who are using loans, it's all about how much money they have to bring out of pocket.
Right.
They take what the type of loan that they have or the loan that they qualify for, and they will reverse engineer what they're willing to buy based on the loan parameters. Same thing with wholesalers. If you go through a dozen wholesale deals, you'll notice one or two things that are in common: that their purchase price is always some percent of the ARV.
Sure.
That's because they understand that loans are being issued at this amount. So if I sell my deal at that amount, that means I can get this amount. It all centers around the money. The two easiest things to sell on this planet is attention and money. And beyond the aspect of selling the money, when you are the money person, when you walk into the room, you're in a room of 100 strangers you don't know. 5 minutes, you have the ear of the entire room, because you are the one thing that every transaction needs: the money. If you're a buyer and I'm a buyer, we can small talk. Seller, when you're the money, buyers want to talk to you. Sellers want to have more outlets. Title companies want referrals. Insurance companies want referrals. Agents want to be able to refer and have you refer. Everyone wants to talk to you. And what I've done is I've taken all of the 13 years I've been in the business of pushing money, and I've now put it in a platform, education series to teach you how to make money selling money, how to leverage every single relationship to be a sales agent for you, and how to get into real estate investing. Because when you understand the money on the sell side, on the buy side, wherever direction you want to go, you know exactly how to get into the deal based on the way the money is structured.
I love it, because I think so many people get into this one-dimensionally. You're right. They think wholesale is the lowest barrier to entry. I'll go get this house under contract, sell it to somebody else, and I'll take the spread. What you don't realize is, just like those wholesale deals are available, capital is also available. Essentially, what he's doing is teaching you to wholesale money, right?
Yep,
It's there. It's funny. We're sitting at a Think Realty conference right now. That's where we're doing this podcast from. But if you came to the American Association of Private Lenders, my AAPL conference, their biggest issue, these private lenders, is deploying capital, right? Like all they talk about is like, do you have more deal flow? Can you send me more deal opportunities, right? And so what he's teaching you to do, it is, in my opinion, revolutionary, because what it can help you do is actually stand out, which is massive, right? Like, if you go to a RIA or local meetup group and you say, I'm a wholesaler, you're going to be a dime a dozen.
Exactly.
And if you go and you say, actually, I'm the private broker, for capital, or I am the capital provider for deals, it changes the whole conversation.
Literally 5 minutes. You say the right 2 or 3 things, you will have the ear of the entire group.
Yeah.
And we dive into all of that good stuff. And even more importantly, the bigger reason about the wholesaling aspect, you got to talk to a bunch of sellers, you got to talk to a bunch of buyers, you got to qualify deals, you got to qualify if buyers are legit. When you sell money, the thing about it is that I actually close more deals on the beach selling money than any wholesale deal I've ever done beating the streets in a fraction of the time.
Yeah, well, it's because it's a whole lot easier to sell money.
A whole lot easier to sell money.
But I want to get through maybe some of the limiting beliefs that they have on this, and that is, you think, well, I don't have money to sell, right? The thing is you don't understand, like, there's so much capital sitting on the sidelines waiting to be deployed. If you can actually be the conduit that connects deals with money, right? Like, I love that you've reverse engineered this whole process, because it is the missing component in this space.
And that's the thing. People will pay you to sell their money.
Yeah.
And selling money is the easiest thing to sell.
Right.
And and on top of that too, it is the easiest way to get into real estate investment, because once you close a few deals, you now have foundation capital to get into real estate investing yourself.
Yeah, sure.
And because you understand the money, you understand how to get into your first deal while making money, learning the business. It solves so many problems. And truly, it is as simple as walking up to any lender and saying, hey, if I brought you business, would you pay me? And I can tell you about 99% of the time, they'd be like, absolutely.
And I know about 800 of them that would. You know?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a lot of them that would, because the one fundamental issue with lenders is they don't know how to get deal flow.
Right.
You know. Well, that's awesome. So how do they find out more about that?
Visit hackprivatemoney.com. The name of the education series is a Smart Money Blueprint, How to Make Money Selling Money. Or find me on social media at Adonis Lockett. Every few days I'm putting out one of the clips from the education series about the different things and strategies you can do. But hackprivatemoney.com, easiest way to get started. We got 2 versions of it. Download the course, take it, run with it, do your thing.
Yeah.
But we have an upgraded version where you can actually get paired with a coach. We'll set up your business, we'll set up your phone systems, your emails, your websites. We'll actually partner with you on your first 10 deals.
Yeah.
So by the time we're saying that we're done, we've closed your first 10 deals with you.
That's awesome.
Right. So
That's
we want
huge.
to walk you through the whole thing. Or for the do-it-yourselfers, download the course. It's over 30 hours of everything you need to know, and then how to apply it to actually start selling money.
It's awesome. Love it. Very, very cool. We're out of time. One last question, though. If you had $1 million and you had one deal, would you buy it in Texas or Florida?
Texas. All day. All day.
He's not right. It should be Florida. Anyways, no, I appreciate your time. Thank you for everything. And if you guys haven't already been to my re360.com, go there. Check that community out. That's something you're going to be a part of. And if you're just getting in the business, or maybe you're wholesaling right now, and what he just talked about on selling money is the option that you think you should consider, get a hold of Adonis. He's very active on social, connects, he's very responsive. Make sure you get a hold of him and check that out. Thanks so much for being a part of the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks so much, Think Realty podcast viewer and listener, for being a part. Please connect with us on social. Let us know if there's any other value that we can bring to you, content, whatever it is. And I want to say a quick last thank you to our podcast sponsor, which is Real Property Management. Real Property Management, a good property manager will put more money in your pocket than take it out. And you can check out Real Property Management, which we highly recommend, at realpropertymgt.com. That's realpropertymgt.com. If you haven't picked up our latest episode, our latest magazine articles, and our latest, what am I trying to say here? What's the thing you call a magazine? Our latest issue. There you go. Man, struggling with that. Sorry about that. Latest issue, pick it up on the shelves at Barnes & Noble, or go online to thinkrealty.com and order one. Get it to your house. It's a phenomenal magazine that you'll love. And again, connect with us on social. We'd love to hear back from you. Thanks so much, Think Realty Nation, for being part of the podcast today.